Hey everybody, welcome back. Emo Tempest here, and today we are doing the Opus 18 Resurgence of Power win set review. Hope you've been enjoying the series. Be excited for all the new decks that are come. I know we're in the preseason, like I've said, but pre or postseason, however you'd like to look at it. But yeah, still some neato cards. A lot of this stuff is going to grow with us for the rest of the year, so we should just talk about it now, I suppose, right? Alright, but without further ado, let's get started on the win set review. First off, Arc. Warrior of Light EX Burst. When Arc enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add a fire, earth, or water card among them to your hand and return the other cards to the bottom of the deck in any order. If there are 4 or more elements among the forwards you control, the forwards you control gain 2,000 power. If there are 4 or more different elements among forwards you control. Okay, so that's like a field ability. Got it. So very interesting. Obviously, we know the Warrior of Light system has Warrior of Light's like deck or engine, however you want to put it, revolves around having multiple colors that across every color in the game, pretty much. And so something like this, I hate that it's kind of limited to fire, earth, and water. I wonder if we'll get another one that covers, you know, wind, lightning, and ice, I guess. But maybe not. There's less Warrior of Lights in those colors. I think there's only a few in earth. But you know, I mean, those are the general. These are the main ones. I know that much. So I don't know if this will make me want to replace the other Arc. Arc has always been the one that competes the most for like playability. I think between the backup, the other Arc. I think we have 2 backups now. One was for standard units before, but we have another one, and then the 5-cost one. So he's definitely good. I like that. You know, it kind of gives the filtering and the searching, kind of like it makes it easier for us to get our pieces or whatever. But yeah, actually I think I like him more for the Bards too, right? Like fire, earth, and water. At least I don't have to wait till the damage threshold for the rest of his abilities, so he's not bad. It'll take some testing, but maybe this might help the Warrior of Light's speed along. Iris, category 15 forwards enter the field, activate Iris. Okay, that's cool, actually. Kind of just like regenerates herself. Put Iris into the break and choose a forward. It gains. This forward cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities until the end of the turn. I'm glad it's not limited to 15, that second effect, but obviously we'll probably go in the Retainers deck and or any other like Earth, Wind 15 deck. Delusionary Dragoon, haste. When he enters the field, choose a job mannequin forward. It gains haste until the end of the turn. That's not too bad, I guess. Now the mannequins are getting in a bunch of more colors, so very interesting. This isn't my favorite one out of the newest ones, so probably a low score for me on that one. Kites. When Kites enters the field, reveal the top 3 cards of the deck. Add a win card among them to your hand and return the others to the bottom of the deck in any order. If it is a category 12 character, also activate Kite. Put Kite to the break and choose up to 2 characters that activate them. Off the top of my head, I think the biggest thing I noticed from this is that it's a backup Sky Pirate. I want to say it's Philo that makes our Sky Pirates generate water. So between Philo, Kites, and Vaughn, which is the other one, right, we can have that tricolored Earth, Water, Fire deck with 3 backups that can generate multiple colors, and so it's very good. That ability to kind of filter might be also useful for that deck, because I'm always finding it necessary to kind of get into those cards. Add a win card among them, right? And so even if we don't get the Vaughn, something, you know, those colors have a lot of dual element ones now, and so getting in there shouldn't be a problem. This card is actually pretty good, I think. That second ability is just like a plus, right? If we want to, like, you know, go wide and kind of like keep a threat to like activate people and things like that. So this one should definitely see some play, I think. Ranger. When you enter the field, choose a forward and choose 1 forward or monster of cost 1 and break it. So kill the Lusos, kill the Oshus, I guess. There's not that many that we kind of rely on here and that kind of stick around. So yeah, I don't know. Don't think this will see much play. Cerberus, 3-cost monster. When he enters the field, select one of the following 3 actions. Choose a forward. If cost 5 or more, break it. Activate all the backups you control and draw a card. And until the end of the turn, he also becomes a forward. You can only use this ability if you've cast 2 or more cards this turn. So if I haven't mentioned it, the monsters in this set have this conditional action ability or whatever to kind of become forwards, which I like, but they also have like stronger effects, right? Like this is pretty nuts, right? Just a monster that activates all backups and can become a forward if you've cast 2 or more cards this turn. You know, people are really big on this one for he is an H after all, for cast counting and anything wind absurdities. I'm glad he's kind of unique, right? So he shouldn't be able to like, you know, blow up the game too much, even in L3, but this card is definitely going to see play. Kolkab, or Kolab, during each turn when he enters the field, when Kolkab is chosen by your opponent summons or abilities, for the first time in that turn, each player puts the top card of their deck into the break zone. Okay. If both cards are the same type, cancel its effect. That's such an interesting effect that I can't, like, it's so weird, right? Like, targets both mill, if they're the same type, cancel it. Like, it's obviously it's out of your control, right? Like, there's few cards that you can do to shuffle the top of both players' deck in a situation like that, or any situation really, right? Like, but he goes with that fire backup, that now cool one from that we talked about. So interesting. I wonder if this will become something like these other 11 creatures, category 11 creatures that like they have their own weird deck. They're both 5 costs so far. I've only seen 2 of them, so I think it's a cool effect. I don't think the card will see play outside of you know, sealed or limited, but yeah. Yiji, I think it's pronounced, or ZG probably. Put him into the break zone. You can tap, put him in, search for a category 7 forward, and add it to your hand. Well, that's nice. Man, I love how there's gonna be a meta, and if I'm sure it might even be this one in the preseason, but maybe even like the first season of competitive if it comes back. We're looking at like 3 7 decks that are all in top tables, right? We have this new Wind Earth one that's kind of developing. We have the Avalanche still. I'm not saying Turks definitely didn't get anything important this set. Maybe like some good cards for their colors, but not like something Turk related, I mean. And then like there's gonna be another one, I'm sure, like that's just very Sephiroth focused or something like that, and it's just, or you know, we saw Weiss and you know those guys or whatnot, but there's gonna be 3 like 7 decks. They're really pushing 7 down our throats. I mean, if it sells right, this is a good card. Should see play in that deck that I'm kind of like imagining. The Wind one, this one's probably gonna see tons of play too, just for doing wind things, right? Being able to lift this one up or whatever, with like a Bismarck or an Althea eventually, and then like draw when you need to, and then you know other things. It's so interesting. So sure, load a warp. When it enters the field, you may search for 1 card and add it to your hand. That's great. This is fantastic. I love this card. It's very nice. I love this cute full art for these WAF characters. Yeah, this is a really good card actually. It's kind of absurd. In 2 turns, I get whatever I want, whatever I need. Search for 1 card as your hand. Summon, spell, monster, forward, whatever you need. Yeah, it's pretty good for a rare. Mysterious Woman. Mysteriously, why it's so good, it is a mystery. If you cast Triad, you may remove 10 win cards for your break zone from the game as an extra cost. Choose a forward to 2,000 damage for each win character you control. If you pay the extra cost, also draw a card. Meh. I mean, this one's probably the one that's most likely. Wind doesn't have too much recursion, and it's, you know, in mono Wind I'm obviously referring to, but I can see this being played, right? Because you'll be able to kill something and draw a card, which also ultimately like pushes your deck forward, pushes your combos forward. So this one's actually not too bad in terms of the extra cost is what I'm referring to. Nash. I feel like this card looks exactly like the other one. Just, I know Nash has been. We've had Nash cards before. None of them have ever been played. This is a 2-drop backup. When you enter the field, you may pay 4 to win 2 colors. When you so choose a forward or monster of cost 4 or more, break it. Okay, that's not bad actually. And put Nash in the basement. Choose a forward of cost 2 or less, break it. This one's actually good. Yeah, in an L3 version, I think we still have Fat Chocobo, and so even though we do lose a lot of the utility from some of the older backups, something like this could be very useful, right? Like, this will probably see, depending, I want to say L3, like closely tied to that, so not a bad 2 cost really. Bart's Wanderer, Warrior of Light. When Bart's enters the field, name 1 job and 1 element other than light or dark. Bart's gains the named job and element. For each forward other than Bart's you control with the same job as Bart's, gain 2,000 power. Bart's cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities that share its element. Wow, so he's got that Camelot ability, right? Like, where whatever other type he is. Right, so currently, by your opponents that share its element, right? So he's gonna be wind whatever, right? So the real question is, does he technically becomes multi-element, right? Like, I would have to say. So cards that deal more damage to multi-elements, or cards that, like, that require, I mean, I guess different elements for powers or whatever, for like effects and stuff like that. So he's going to be able to trigger both of those, and he gets buffed for whatever element you have, right? So he kind of has that Sophie, like that Sophie effect as well as Camelot, which is an L and an H. This card is absurd. Talk about power creep for real. Did Wind need something like this? Probably not. Like. But this is a very good card. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like this a lot. Warrior of Light and Warrior of Light. Wow, he's gonna be dangerous. I'm gonna probably start there with Wind. Poppy. The Wind forwards you control gain. This forward cannot be blocked by forward of 3 or more. The Ice forwards you control gain 1,000 power, and the Earth forwards you control gain 1,000 power. So I guess just by comparison, right, reading both of these cards back to back, you know, if he's going to be Wind, right, so he's going to get that, and if you make him Ice or Earth, he'll also get all of these one of these other abilities. So I think this is cool. She kind of lends herself to this any weird combination of this deck, or a tricolor deck in general. Are you going to need all these effects? Probably not, but Ice Earth forwards would be nice for this. You know, eventually we're going to get to the point where every deck is going to be, not every deck, but most of the decks are going to be like tricolored. And so I guess things like this will help. I'm still waiting for backups, more backups to produce weird colors, right? Like I need a water one that produces Earth, I think. That would be my ideal situation, but Yuri, same thing, I feel like I've seen this card already. If you control 3 or more category FFCC characters, Yuri cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, and when Yuri enters the field or attacks, choose up to 2 category effects to activate him. So the second effect is new, the first one is not. This one's just like a power creep version of that old promo we got with worse art. I think the other one had a weird effect too, like it lets you search stuff or something, I don't remember. But I guess this is okay, but we didn't really play that one too much. That other one saw a little bit of play. I want to say maybe in L3 this might be more relevant, but right now not so much. And the big chase card. I hope you guys pulled one of these. I would highly, unless you're a big fan of 7 or a collector, I would sell it right away. But that's just me. If I pull one, you better believe it's gone. Haste. When Yuffie attacks, activate all the forwards you control. Until the end of the turn, Yuffie gains 1,000 power, and Yuffie cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities. Until the end of your opponent's turn. When she attacks, all the forwards you activate. So is this until the end of your opponent's turn? I guess when she attacks, she gets all of this. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's weird, right? Because there's a stop there. It says activate all the forwards. Stop until the end of the turn. The opponent's turn. Yuffie gains power and cannot be chosen. So I guess it's probably all connected to her attacking. And then Doom of the Living, S and 2 win, tap, choose any number of forwards, divide 24,000 damage among them as you like. That's very cool. I can just bop 3 people. Damn, I can kill a bunch of people here. This is cool. I like this one. Doom of the Living, very strong. Yeah, this is a really good Elm, and the first of many, I assume, signed chase cards. Looks like the odds for this are 1 in a half cases, or probably your best bet's in 1 in every 2 cases if you're lucky. So good luck to you guys. Happy hunting on that one. Leafkin, 2 cost backup, 3 damage, 3 and on colorless tap. Put him in the break zone. Search for a forward of cost 5 or 6. And play it onto the field. You can only use this ability during your turn. Alright, so this card is pretty stupid in my opinion. This is as free as Wool was. That lets you bring in an FF Mobius character. And incidentally, you could play this at damage 3 and like pop it to bring in the Wool to play in an, your Braska or your Hexteth. But yeah, so 2 things. 1, it's pretty dumb, and also 3 and 2, this is just a big shield, right? Like, if I play this turn 1, it pretty much tells my opponent, you're not going to put me to 3 damage anytime soon. So you're going to leave me at 2, I'm going to set up, and if you don't, then I do what I want to do, and then I can, play my game, right? So this card is very strong. I expect it to be very useful. It's a common and it's a full art. It's super cute though too. Alright, Sid Hayes, another killer. When Sid Hayes enters the field during this turn, the cost required to cast your next card is reduced by 2. Can be 0, it seems. At the beginning of the attack phase during each of your turns, choose 2 characters your opponent controls. If you have cast 3 or more cards this turn, dull them and freeze them. Very good. Wow. Yeah, so Sid Hayes, Engineer in general, searchable. That first part of his effect is enough to make me... Like, if it didn't have the second effect in the text, it would still be a good card. Yeah, just pretty much comes in. Next thing is 2 less. Backups are free. Most of the monsters are free. Being able to reduce cost is a very strong effect, and that's why only so many few... that's why we still play Yuna from Opus 1, right? That's why Ferris, for the Warrior of Light, seems so good, right? Because he makes everything cheap forever, right? That's why the Tilica, right, I believe it is such a good card and it enables so many things, right? This card is just like that as well. It's going to enable so many things because it has so many, like, it's limitless, right? Whatever, bringing anything down by 2 is huge. We got rid of Stern and Mashiri because they were both making things cheaper too, right? That was part of their problem. Yeah, this is a great card. Very dangerous. An H, worth it, I guess. The second part is just, icing on top for anybody. Maria, when Maria is put from the field in the break zone, select one of the following 2 actions. Your opponent reveals their hand. Select 1 card from their hand. Your opponent discards this card. Reveals their hand. Select 1 card. Opponent reveals their hand. Why is it worded so weird? It's like making me trip up. Your opponent reveals their hand. Select 1 card from their hand. Your opponent discards this card. Okay. And then, or activate all the characters you control. So it's very cheap for 2 interesting effects. They are on death effects, so I wonder how we'll use them, how we'll take advantage of this. I don't really see it just yet. But she is threatening on the defensive turns, right? Because if everything activates on my side, then you're in trouble. Obviously dulling her wouldn't be a problem, but she'll still be that kind of extra, like, wall of protection, right? Like, between that and Leafkin, I'm not gonna want to swing at all, right? Melvian. This one is probably one of the nicer cards, I think, in the set as well. Warp. 1 turn, really? When Melvian enters the field, choose up to 2 backups and up to 2 other backups. Activate the former and freeze the latter. Okay. When Melvian is put from the field into the break zone, you may remove Melvian from the game. When you do so, place 2 warp counters on Melvian. So he just keeps coming back. Yeah, I guess he doesn't die. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a very strong card. I like it. This is your legendary, if we hadn't talked about it yet. Have we talked about the other legendary? Let me go back for a second. No, I think... Oh, yeah, it was the Yuffie. Yeah, Melvion's a pretty strong card. Pretty annoying, to be general. I'm glad it's not overpowered, right? Like, the problem is here, like, is that he should be more expensive, right? Because then the warp doesn't almost matter, right? I'm glad it's off color, so you can't do this turn 1 for whatever reason. But yeah, I guess that's balance, right? Is what they're trying to do there. Pretty sick card. Chillink, to go with that ugly that ugly other what's his name, Yuri, from the last, I think, 2 sets ago. He's also Earth, Wind Earth, I think. When he enters the field, choose a monster. When Chillink enters the field, choose a monster. Your opponent controls, break it. I mean, no restriction is cool, but this card is weird. Tifa. If Tifa is dealt damage, reduce that damage by 2,000 instead. When she enters the field, you may pay 2. When you do so, choose a forward your opponent controls, and Tifa and the chosen forward deal damage equal to the respective power to each other. So it's effect damage, not fight damage, not battle damage. Meteor Strike, choose up to 3 forwards, deal them 8k. See, look, these are crazy effects. This is a very good Tifa. I like this one. But yeah, also goes into that, like, a Wind Earth FS7 list that I was talking about. Like, there's so many Tifas already, so this one's a solid one just to play in general. I think it's a good card. Obviously color dependent, but you know, these colors are have very good cards already. These are L3 cards. Fran, if you control the card named Balthier, Fran gains 1,000 power and Brave. Do we have any new Balthiers? I don't think so, right? When Fran enters the field or attacks, you may play one category 12 character that costs 4 or less from your hand onto the field. Enters the field or attacks. Wowzers. Yeah, that's a good one. She is also another L, right? I guess technically we have 3 wind Ls. Some might say that this was more of an ice L, but we chose to talk about it here, and that's okay. If you control a card name, yeah, we already did this. So yeah, she's a very interesting thing. We don't. Now the problem with her currently is that 12 is on a weird, like, not so strong foot right now, if you ask me. And then if we do go into L3, I don't think we have any new Balthiers. I could be wrong. I'm not gonna search it now, but yeah, I don't think so. I can't remember when Pirates was relevant, right? Was it at the beginning of last year, or I want to say it's more than 3 sets ago. So especially not with this. So yeah, no. And then I think we got the new Aerith, which I don't know if needed to be reprinted, but I guess this is a cool card. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this one. I guess all in all, the art's very nice. We love a mono art. My biggest problem with these is just like, because I think this is the first one I've seen, or the first one that I'm going to talk about when I'm recording these, is that, like, A, you could have used this for a different card in general, and B, you're kind of like, the secondary market's in trouble, man. Like, I know they're trying to make money too, but like, it's killing some of us. But and if so, why reprint one that didn't see too much play in general? I don't know. So many issues with these legacy art ones. I was actually confused at the beginning why they chose these to reprint, especially one was a starter card. But I guess it makes sense. They just wanted to use these up. Oh, and then we have the 15 stuff, which, if you haven't seen it, make sure to check out the starter review for this one. Alright guys, that's it for the wind review. The most, probably the outstanding cards are going to be Cerberus for sure. Bartz is an animal. Leafkin. The L's, all 3 L's are very good. Probably I want to say Yuffie's just too absurd. Than the other 2. Melvin's a very interesting one too, and then Sid Hayes is a killer. A lot of really good cards in the wind again. Yeah, so one more time. All 3 L's, not bad. Very strong. Yuffie's my favorite one. The top 5 other than that would be Leafkin, Hayes, Bartz, Cerberus, and then sure Loda is a close 5th or whatever. The rest of them are okay, you know, honorable mentions to Arc and Kites, but that's about it. Let me know which one of the wind cards you enjoyed or is your favorite one. I'm looking forward to playing. Yeah, and you want to know more about the Earth stuff, go check out the Earth review. We'll catch you on the next one, guys.